Hello, and welcome to my presentational video for module MUS633 Interactive Sound Environments. My name is Faith Plummer, and this is my project explanation and demonstration. My project idea was to create a max patcher that could work alongside Reactivision in a way which could benefit children with autism by helping them understand emotions. The idea is that Reactivision fiducials could be used to generate a musical response where certain parameters could be manipulated to ensure a pleasant experience. What you can see right now is my max patcher. As you can see, I have selected 4 emotions to be part of this interactive space. For my research into this topic of autism and emotions, I discovered that the emotions happy, sad, peaceful, and angry are the most easily understood emotions for a child with autism. Connected to each emotion is a buffer object. Here is where the audio representing each emotion is stored. I've specifically selected each piece of music used to represent each emotion, backed up by scientific research, but I will come back to this later. On the other side of the screen, you can see this Tuyo client object. This is what links the software Max into Reactivision. This button blinking here shows the 2 pieces of software that are connected, and this same button will flash more rapidly when a Reactivision fiducial is present. For example, if I open the Reactivision window and present a fiducial, you can see the rapid increase in flashes, telling us it is connected. The first connection is where the on and off information is split. When a fiducial is present, the data comes through the first outlet, and when it is absent, the data comes through the second outlet. The other pieces of information given to Max through the presentation of a fiducial is its x-axis coordinate, its y-axis coordinate, and its rotational value. These pieces of data will come in handy later on. The next objects are the cell and root objects. The numbers which follow correspond to the specific fiducials I'm using. As you can see, the next objects in this patcher are the p-loop objects. These contain a separate patcher connected to both the root and cell objects, so it is receiving the on and off information. Inside these loop patches is an identical set of objects, with only one aspect changing between the 4. This difference is in the name of the groove object. These each linked to a different emotion and therefore to a different piece of music. At the top here is input 1, linking into all the information coming from the root objects, so when the fiducial is present. This unjoin object splits those 3 pieces of information I mentioned earlier, the x-axis, y-axis, and rotational value, so that each one has its own outlet. The first outlet is the x-axis. This will be used to control volume by moving a fiducial left for quiet and right for loud. The second output, or the y-axis, is going to be used to control a low-pass filter. The attached scale object is simply converting the y-axis information into data relevant to the filter. This is all then linked into the cutoff frequency input, through the filter, and then into the biquad object. This assists with the filtering process, and then all goes into the same objects as the x-axis or volume output. Over on this side, by the groove object again, we have these 2 message boxes, 1 and 0. The 1 box is linked into the first outlet, which controls the volume. The 0 is plugged into the second output, which is the object here, where the information from the cell objects outside of the patcher is going. All this essentially means is when a fiducial is present, the 1 will trigger the groove to play the audio stored in its corresponding buffer object. Once the fiducial is removed, the data will present a 0 and the audio will stop. This at loop 1 argument in the groove object simply means the audio will loop round back to the beginning to continue playing. This all goes through the biquad and follows through the remaining links and out the 1 and 2 outputs. Back outside of this patcher, both objects from each P loop link into the speaker object. I will now upload the specific pieces of music for each emotion into the buffer objects. As my project is aimed at children with autism, I wanted to create some fiducial pucks which were both fun and clear. These are the pucks I created. I had to do this by hand as I didn't have access to a printer after I had used the same printer to print the actual Reactivision fiducials. So with Reactivision now open, we can play with the pucks. So fiducial 200 is the one which represents happy, so you can see the happy face on this side. So if we present it, we should hear some Mozart. Get louder and quieter. I'm just going to turn the volume up a little bit, just to make sure we can hear. And then up, it's low pass filter, and you hear more of those low bits coming out the bottom. One thing I did notice when experimenting and in the process of making this is that as all the clips of music I've picked are classical, when put through a low pass filter it tends to represent another volume filter, as most classical music is saturated with strings which are all high frequencies, so they all tend to disappear when you use a filter with them. So the second fiducial is 210, represents peaceful one, and we should hear some of the swan from the Carnival of Animals. Getting louder and quieter, and then the filter, it's the same thing. Thirdly, we have the fiducial 211, which is the sad emotion. For this one, we should hear some Albinoni Sinfonia. Excuse me. It's louder this way and quieter this way. You know the filter working up and down. And for the fourth and final pack, we have fiducial 212 for the angry emotion. And for this one, we should hear some Rachmaninoff. Get louder and quieter. And then the filter working. The angry emotion is the one I had the most trouble with deciding which piece of music to use, as I didn't want to trigger or make worse any emotions of anger of an individual's feeling. So that's it, that's my project. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.